right. More clips coming through. So I just want to point out right at the beginning the obvious attention-seeking behavior here. It's all calculated, guys, and let's not pretend, please, that this is just, oh, I was just coincidentally in my bikini. It's like, well, you could still take a video, neck up, right? Instead of having the tits being perfectly at the bottom of the frame. But anyways, I'm just pointing that out so you guys are aware of these things.
I cannot stress the importance of dating someone whose cultural background matches up to the type of man that you want. If you don't want to do the 50-50 shit, then date someone who comes from a background where men are natural providers.
I just love the constant hypocrisy of these types of things because, and I understand all these women are individuals or whatever. I understand that they all have their own perspectives, but it's just funny how confused even they all are, right? Because you have the same woman coming out or a similar type of woman coming out and saying, oh, but I come from this background and they're abusive and, there's polygamy and all these problems around how women are treated. But then they come out and say this exact thing where, oh, but at least they were providers. So which one is it? It's like they don't understand that they desire the perfect man. There is no man's good enough anymore, right? He needs to be perfect. He needs to provide all the provider things, but also be submissive to all their wants and needs. That's what it's becoming. And it is what it is. I mean, they don't need us the same way they used to need us. So now, I mean, why have a guy when you can get all the things that a guy provides without any of the responsibilities? That is the cold, hard truth about it. And a lot of people want to talk about it like it's, women's fault, men's fault. I don't know. It could be a combination. Generally, it is. But the brutal reality of it is simple. They don't need us for survival anymore. That is just the truth. So now men are playthings. So if I'm already going to have a man, since I don't need him, I'm only going to get the best man. Otherwise, there's no point. And the best man is somewhat subjective, but generally it's all the characteristics that they seek. They want a guy that is two different guys in one. That is pretty much impossible because you can't be simultaneously domineering and a conqueror, but also be submissive to the woman. Those two guys can't exist in the same man, but that's what they want. So that's usually when they start saying these types of things. This is what I immediately think of. But let's see what else she has to say about this.
Providers, Middle Eastern men, African men. These American men, they're stingy.
Okay, so they're not stingy, and the funny thing is, American men are actually arguably some of the most giving. The problem is they're just not getting they're not getting the bang for buck anymore. So men are very value oriented. So before they would put out less and get more. And now they're putting out more and getting less. So now a lot of guys are starting to say, well, let's do 50-50 then. You want to be independent, you want to make your own money, then let's split it both ways. And women are saying, no, I'm going to make all the money, but I'm still not going to go 50-50. So what's the point then? What's the point of a guy giving? So you're going to stockpile all your dollars. You're going to earn all this money, stockpile it all, not pay anything in expenses to anybody because there's always various people helping you, which, let's be honest, guys don't get this help, right? They don't get this help from their parents typically or from society, right? There's an expectation the men must work, which is fine. But women will earn the same amount of money, stockpile it, and then spend them whatever they want. But no, you still have to pay all the bills, okay? So like I said, I believe that a guy should be a provider. I really do. But am I surprised that American men are saying this isn't worth it anymore? I'm not surprised at all. Like what they get in return just isn't worth it. Because women are the one that are spearheading the 50-50 movement. But yet somehow now there's all these women coming and saying, oh, I still want a provider. It's like, it just doesn't make any sense. Okay. It really doesn't make sense. They're not stingy. Okay. They have the most resources typically. They just don't want to give it for something that's not worth it. Okay.
It's part of the culture. Like the 50-50 phenomenon is part of the culture. Now, there's a lot that is wrong with the African and Middle Eastern culture as someone who's from it, but at least you don't have to worry about convincing a man to be a provider. That's natural to them. That's part of the culture. That's bred within them.
Yeah, and then you get that kind of guy, and what happens next? Then you complain that they want to be the boss, they want to be the leader, they're telling you what to do, and you don't want to do those things. Which one is it? Which one is it? I just don't get it anymore. You get one, you're unhappy with one result. You get the other, you're unhappy with this result. I just posted a reaction video of a girl being the provider or whatever and saying it's not worth it, but she's the one that was likely pushing for 50-50 early on, right? So I just, I mean, the problem is obvious to me, but I'm really struggling to understand why women just don't get it. Your standards are impossible to meet. Okay? They're impossible. You're trying to get two entirely different spectrum of man into one man. Okay? That's what you're trying to accomplish. So, and I try. This is what I tell all my clients and all the guys that follow my stuff, right? I tell them all, you have to be two of these guys in one to actually have success in a modern era, because girls want both of these guys in one package. So now you have to, on some level, be able to play multiple different faces despite you being one way or the other. It's very, very difficult and almost impossible to pull off unless you're really committed on working on yourself and your personality to the point where you can almost play two faces at the same time, and then knowing which face to play at what moment. I mean, it almost seems illogical, but it almost seems like that's just what girls, or what the pressure is, right? The pressure of women is for us to be this way now. All right, well, I guess we'll have to wait and spend 15 years developing ourselves till we get to that point, and then hopefully we can, command some leverage, but that's pretty much it. If you haven't joined my Discord community, make sure to click the link below and join. I'm building a community of guys that want to self-improve and become the guy I'm talking about in this video.